Hi, guys, and welcome to Meet You There. This is a podcast where we interview people about their faith, life lessons, and sometimes testimonies. This episode is a very exciting one for me. I am sitting down with my 7-year-old grandpa and going to interview him about his life and his life lessons and his legacy. So I'm going to
Yes.
let him introduce himself, and then I'm going to get started by asking him some deep questions.
Okay. Yes, I'm Papa, 70 years old, and I'm ready to go when you're ready.
Yep. Took me a long time to get situated, but it's okay.
It's all
All
right.
right. So, Papa, first question.
Okay.
Can you let people know a little bit of your personal testimony, but just from like the beginning, like how you found God and how you were kind of raised with God?
Well, I put an APB out for him because he was lost. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh God.
He found me. I mean, so uh, I don't know. I was probably about 13 when I first, dedicated my life to the Lord, and but the biggest thing that happened to me in my life is while in high school, and then I rededicated my life then, is I was one of those kids that, well, I wanted to live both lives. So I threw a party at the house when my parents were gone. And at the bottom of the pool, there was a Coors emblem, a little sticker thing. So when I came home that weekend, uh, my mom and dad said, "Hey, we're going to talk to you." So they did. And my mom had it sitting on her lap, and she goes, "What's this?" And I go, "I don't know. It looks like a Coors thing." And so she had high hopes for me because she had, 4 kids, counting me. And I guess she thought I was going to be an angel. Uh, I wasn't at first. And anyway, she just started crying. And I seen the hurt in her eyes more than I've ever seen in anybody. And a little voice in my head said, "Well, if you think you hurt her, which obviously you did, what do you think you've been doing to me, living 2 lives?" So that was really a turning point in my life. And I just said, "Okay, Lord, I give my life to you." And I did, and quit having parties. And uh, I ended up going to church all the time. And I was a youth deacon, and I was at the First Baptist Church. And I just really enjoyed it. And so I got real involved in ministry then. And I went with my mom to the hospitals and rest ins and rest homes, and just started getting involved with the ministry, doing those kind of things. So, excuse me. So anyway, that's how I did it, and how
Yep.
what my life is. And don't get me wrong, of course, I've had ups and downs, but for the most part, I served the Lord, and I do to this day.
Yep. Everybody has ups and downs.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for you going through all that stuff, none of us would be here, probably.
Yeah.
So, or at least have a lot of the faith and the closeness with God too, because you've been a huge impact on me with God and my walk with God, and being a man that like leads as a grandpa and a father too, because I didn't have and he's been my dad basically. I had a stepdad for a long time, but we lost him in 2017, and then or 2018. I think it was 2017 or 2018, and then my
Yeah.
real dad didn't really know much. So you've been a huge man of faith for somebody
Well,
that I can
thank
look up
you.
to. So
I hope so.
yep, you have. Do you think back when you were a child and you were growing up, or, I guess right before you had rededicated your life, can you kind of tell them a little bit about how your parents raised you with God?
Oh yeah, man, my parents were good. My dad focused on work, and I think, which I'm really grateful for, because he just taught us that men work, and he, I mean, he went to church, and he read his Bible some and this and that, and it was good, but his whole life was really focused on, just being the example of working and stuff. And then, but my mom, she was a stay-at-home mom, and she lived her life by example. Everything I can't give enough credit to my mom. I mean, she was just a good Christian, and she loved the Lord, and she tried everything to live that life and live an example. And I think today parents, we could learn to be more consistent in our life. And if she said it, she was going to do it. That's
Yep.
discipline, church, everything.
Yep.
And so I think that just led to me always trusting her, and then learning how to trust God. And she had a handful of scriptures that she started teaching me to memorize, and I did. And to this day, I still have them. And sometimes I feel bad because I wish I had more.
Yeah.
But I live by them, or try to.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But she was a good example.
She was a good example for all of us because she did a lot. You might know more about her doing the ministry in the prisons and stuff like that with the men and women, because I have a newspaper clipping of her going every Wednesday and sometimes on the weekends dropping off clothes for people that didn't have them, and
Oh yeah.
going to the prisons and stuff. And
Yep.
yeah, she's been a huge influence on me in the way that I see God as well, because I was pretty young when she, passed away, and I always tell my grandpa I would do anything to be able to sit
Oh
here right
yeah.
now and interview her, or ask her a million questions I have about God and faith and all the
Yeah.
things she was filled with. She was just filled with wisdom. God just,
Right.
I would, yeah. One
Yeah,
day,
well,
though, we'll be able to.
she had only a seventh grade education,
Hmm.
and she could read, but not too well. But she taught herself mainly how to read by reading the Bible.
Yeah.
She just every day. I mean, that was her life.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
she
amazing.
read the Bible, and she lived it.
Yep.
I remember one story she wanted me to try to do, and she would lay on the ground and just lay flat out and get up like at 5 in the morning. And she goes, "Well, come here, son. If you really want to stop, you really want to try to squash the flesh, lay down here and don't go to sleep. Just
Yeah.
lay and pray and read and lay and pray." And I lasted about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was out. I mean, I
Yep.
don't know how she did it.
Yep.
Because if I be still long enough, just like right here, my kids know, and
He'll
so
go
do
to
my
sleep.
grandkids. I'll
Yep.
go to sleep.
He'll be asleep and he'll be out. So
Yep.
I know you shared that story with me when I was going through a lot of my, questions of asking you how I can draw closer to God and hear God more and stuff. You told me to do that, and I tried it for about a week. And every single morning I'd wake up and I'd lay on the ground and I would attempt it, and then about an hour later I'd wake up and I guess I fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to do.
Well, for all those that know the disciples, they fell asleep too.
Oh yeah.
And Jesus says, "Can't you stay awake?"
Yeah.
In fact, they fell asleep twice. So
Yep.
it's a lot harder than what you think.
Yep.
And I
It's
don't
good
even know if they were laying down.
Yeah.
I guess they could have
Uh-huh.
been, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's
It's good to be able to relate to that, how
yeah.
alike we all are, though. All right,
Yep.
next question, kind of off of, what we were just talking about, but what do you think that men today struggle with the most from you just kind of seeing it from a outside perspective?
Priorities, probably. I think I think men, they got to work. At least they need to work. The Bible says you're worse than an infidel if you don't work.
Hmm.
But I think we got to be consistent in every area of our life, in our studies, in raising our kids, and making it a priority to be an example.
Yep.
I don't think we have the example. I mean, a lot of times, we want to do what we want to do, and then tell our kids to do something else. And now we need to live and be an example to our kids, And I think more parents and more moms and more dads need to focus
Yep.
on priority and being an example to their kids.
Yeah. And off of that, how important is a man, a younger man, or um, middle school, going into high school, and getting married, going to college, all those things and stuff. How important is it for them to have God in their life and make it a daily devotion?
Oh yeah, well you're not going to make it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling what I feel and
Yep.
what
I
I
agree.
know and what I see. If
Yep.
you don't put Christ first, and don't get me wrong, Christ, the thing with this, Christ isn't here to punish us.
Yep.
He's
Exactly.
here to love us, and He's going to teach us. But if you're trying to live through this life and all this without Christ, I'm just going to tell you now, and I know people say, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. Well, sorry you feel that way, because you're not going to prove me wrong.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, I'm not 7 years old, I'm 70, and I've seen way too many people try to look at their life and think that they can make it without Christ, and you're just not going to,
No.
and it's
Mm-mm.
not worth it.
Yep.
So you just put Christ first. And, one of the scriptures that my mom taught me years ago is trust in God, and lean not into your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your path.
Yep.
And that's what parents need to do, And the whole thing is right there at the beginning: trust in me,
Yep.
you know. And again, like I said, He's not there to beat you up. He's there to love you.
Yep.
He's there to show you. He's there to help you.
Yep.
We just got to cry out for Him. And it doesn't matter how many times, 7 times 70 we're supposed to forgive. Well, imagine
Yep.
how many times we're supposed to cry out to God then.
Yep.
And that's our uh, example then.
Yep. Of who we're supposed to be and why we're here, and God's the most important thing you could ever have in your life. And
Yeah.
now you guys can all see why I want such a close relationship with God, and why I think ministry is such a important part of my life, or will be eventually, and
Yep,
why I
it
want it
is.
to be so important, so I can help those people that think they can do it without God, because you can't. So I
Right.
agree with you.
And
All
I
right.
want to say real quick,
Yeah.
Sierra wasn't just born and all of a sudden she was a good kid. This
Oh
same
no.
grandma, one day as I went to her where she was living, she's the one that grabbed me kind of like by the neck and said, "What's wrong with that kid?" And she meant
She meant it.
she meant it. She was
Yep.
worried. She thought, "Boy alive."
Yep.
I said, "Well, Mom, we just call on to God, and He's going
Yep.
to take care of her."
Yep.
And He
Exactly.
has. She has been an example to me, to her mom, to her brothers and sisters, and her whole family.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway,
Mhm.
sometimes we see somebody on a podcast that's talking about Jesus. Oh, they just lived like that all
Mm-mm.
their life. And
No.
no,
Nope.
I mean, my mom was so concerned. She actually said that.
Yeah,
What
she
is
did.
wrong with that girl? In
Yeah.
other words, I don't know if God's going to be able to
Do anything with that
do
one.
something.
Yep.
But
That's a pure testimony to God's power and strength of how much He can rewrite our lives. Because I was
yes,
down a path that was going to take me to nothing, and I was going to have nothing. I
yeah,
was, and God
yeah,
picked me up, and that song turned me around. And
yeah,
you got to have faith and trust in God, and He can do anything with your life.
yep.
And my poor grandma was, I hope she's clapping up there now, thinking,
Oh
wow,
yeah,
see, there's the power of God. 'Cause,
yeah, oh yeah. She probably is, or she's got her fist clenched
yep.
and she's shaking it.
Oh, yeah, she's so
Yay!
excited.
Yeah,
Yep. And I think we could talk about great grandma we'll have to do a whole other podcast on her.
yeah.
I'm sure after watching this, I hope people want to know more about her legacy and who she was, and how important it is for your generation after generation
Oh
should be led by
yes,
God. It bleeds through
right.
everybody. So,
A little bit. She lived in
yep.
the South.
Yep.
She was an Alabama girl.
Yep. Oh gosh.
And she ran away from home
At 13,
at
right?
13.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still eating mud at 13, so
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine running away from home and trying
Oh
to start a
yeah.
family.
Came
And
out to California.
gosh, times are so different now. All right, last question, and then
Okay.
we'll close out. So, now this one might be kind of long, so but you're pretty good at getting a lot out in a little bit. So, if where I'm sitting right now was your 25-year-old self, what would you tell? What would you tell yourself?
Well, honestly, I would tell myself, because I believe I did, but I would tell myself is the scriptures that my mom gave me is what I've always repeated. There's just so many. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way thou shalt go, and those are the scriptures. Honestly, I mean, that's what I would hope I would tell myself, because the Word of God is the truth, and you're not going to get lost by speaking scriptures. And a lot of times people say, well, they make me feel guilty. No, they shouldn't. No, no, no. The Word is to direct you and teach you and instruct you. And
Yep.
so if I had it all over to do again, uh, I would even learn more.
Just learn more and gain more wisdom and take more chances and
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
I think you've done very very well with your life, and you have a beautiful family, and you help, direct all of us to God as much as you can. And you've shown a lot of us, in the family that you aren't what your past is or what your mistakes are, and that's helped me. And God just picks us back up every time we fall and
Yeah.
puts us back where we're supposed to be. So thank you for coming on and sharing your heart.
Thank you.
And this was probably going to be my
Thank you
best
for
interview I've done, is to sit
well,
down with my grandpa. So
thank you for having me, and
yep,
I'm blessed. I got you and
yep,
my daughter and my two kids, boys.
yep,
They're I'm just I can't tell you enough, and I don't want to talk much about it because I'll end up crying.
yep,
I really will.
yep,
I'm blessed
yep,
because I know tomorrow, if everything went away and my kids passed, I know they're going to meet Jesus in
yep,
the air.
yep, face to
All of
face.
my whole
Yep,
family,
yep,
grandkids,
yep,
daughter-in-laws,
yep. That's the
all of
best. That's the
them.
best blessing.
And
Wow.
yeah.
Yep,
I think my best testimony, if I may say one more thing, is I
yep,
had a brother-in-law that looked at his sister. No, I'm sorry, it's his wife, and she just encouraged him to try to talk to me a little bit more, spend some time with me. And he said, "Well, I would, except all he wants to do is talk about Jesus."
yeah,
And I try to repeat that to myself so I
yep,
can remember. And anyway, so I say all that not to brag on me, but as a compliment
yep,
to
hmm,
God
yep,
for what He's done in my life.
yep,
And don't get me wrong, I could tell you some things that I've done that,
yep,
well, anyway.
yep,
So, but I serve a loving, forgiving God.
yep. We sure do.
And I hope that you have the opportunity to do that, those that are listening.
Yep, I agree. Yep, great advice.
Okay.
Like Cam, my mom, his daughter says, gray-haired wisdom. You've got a lot of it. But thank
Yeah,
you
is
again
that
for
wisdom
coming on.
or hair or gray hair?
It's just gray hairs.
Oh,
Full of wisdom
I
though.
got a lot of it.
But you got a lot of it over there.
Not full headed yet,
Yeah.
though.
But thank you, Papa, for coming on, and love you lots. And I'm proud of what God's done in your life, and
Well, thank you, honey.
excited to maybe bring you on again. So,
Okay.
but thank you guys so much for watching. And if you enjoyed, please give a like and comment below. And don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys on next week's video.